Hello everyone, and welcome to Storytime with Elizabeth, book number 2. Today we're going to be reading a story about a duck named Henry. Our story today is called Henry's Awful Mistake by Robert Quackenbush. The day Henry the Duck asked his friend Clara over for supper, he found an ant in the kitchen. Henry was worried that Clara would see the ant. She might think that his house was not clean, so the ant had to go. Henry reached for a can of ant spray, but he didn't want to spray near the food that he was cooking, so he chased the ant with a frying pan. Henry ran around and around the kitchen chasing after the ant, but the ant got away and hid behind the stove. Henry took the food that he was cooking off of the stove, and then he shut off the flame and pulled the stove away from the wall. He saw the ant. The ant saw Henry too, and he ran into a small little crack in the wall. Henry went and got a hammer. Henry started to pound a big hole in the wall where the crack was, but he couldn't find the ant, so he kept on pounding. The hole got bigger and bigger. At last, Henry saw the ant sitting on a pipe inside the wall. Henry aimed the hammer at the ant and he missed. The blow of the hammer broke the pipe. Get all the water, it's gonna come everywhere. Water came shooting out of the pipe and Henry couldn't stop it. Henry grabbed a towel and he tied it around the pipe and the water stopped shooting out. Get all the water dripping from the roof and the pans. Henry's soaking wet. But Henry hadn't stopped the water soon enough. It had sprayed all over the kitchen. Everything was soaking wet except for Clara's supper. Thank goodness. Henry began mopping up all the puddles of the water, but all at once he slipped and he banged against the kitchen table. Everything came crashing down. Henry was covered with pots and pans and food. Look at all the salad and the soups. The supper was ruined, and there was nothing Henry could do but to call Clara and tell her not to come. Poor Henry. While Henry was talking on the telephone, the towel came loose from the pipe. The water came shooting out and flooded the whole house. Henry was carried right out the front door by the flood. Look at that, there's a lamp and there's Henry. There was no going back. Poor Henry's house was washed away by the flood. He saved what he could and he moved into a new house. When Henry was settled in his new house, he again asked Clara over for supper. But just as he went to the door to let Clara in, he saw an ant. And Henry just looked the other way. The end. I hope you liked that story about Henry and the ant. Stay tuned for our next story.